Now there's a lot of pressure. Everybody's looking at me finally.
That's what you wanted.
I got what I wanted. I'm not sure I can handle it.
Step off your line.
I wanted to, that's part of the poem. That's gonna come in handy in a minute. I'm gonna pull that out. Don't fucking fuck with my, no. Thank you. Yes, as a matter of fact. I left the birthmark. I was made with that. I don't know. I haven't really been writing any poetry lately. I got a grocery list in here. Well, I want to start out good. I got this piece I'm looking for. It's called Content, but I can't find it. So, just instead of doing that, I'm gonna do this one because I haven't done it that much. It's called "It Shouldn't End with a Climax." I like it. It shouldn't end with a climax, a peak. You don't move to the mountaintop, you climb up, and then there must be a descent. I think we both agree on this. Sometimes, though, I just want to lie down in the snowy bosom of that glorious height and let the weight of my ascension crush me into sleep. That poem's about sex. I don't know if you can tell. It's about like how sometimes you want to snuggle after you're done, and sometimes you're like, fuck yeah. I'm gonna read one more poem, and then I think I'm probably just gonna go ahead and start announcing the poets, the featured readers for the evening. Is there a specific order? Do you want that order? Did you like talk to people?
I mean, I just named it as
Did
they
you
were
go
coming
like,
in, so
hey,
we're
what order do you want to read in?
No, just all.
All right. Well, now I'm gonna do it how I want to.
Do it.
America.
You're good at that. You're good at it.
America. All right, I'm gonna do this one. Actually, I'm gonna give you guys a quote from Kurt Vonnegut first. I really like it. Peculiar travel suggestions are dancing lessons from God. I really like it. I think it's just in here. It's in this thing that I'm looking at. All right, this poem is it's one of my longer ones, which is not very long. I don't write long poems. This one's called As You Are Now. I want to memorize the texture of your hair so that in moments when you are not there, I can still feel it between my fingers. I want to map each of your precious freckles and hang the charts on my wall as though your body were the night sky and I some mad astronomer. I take mental pictures as you smile, grimace, frown, glare, orgasm, spit, breathe, suck, blow, piss, shit, eat, cook, clean, dress, and undress, so that when I touch myself while thinking of you, none of it will be a fabrication of my imagination of you. I press my tongue against your neck, savoring your particular saltiness, stockpiling data as though I may never see you again, making comparisons that never quite fit in the hopes of knowing you better, that I might love you even when I am alone. I listen with the ears of the faithful as you speak, stutter, stammer, sing, scream, laugh, moan, hum, whimper, growl, holler, cry. So that when you whisper sweet everythings from wherever you are, I will hear them in your tones, with your accents, and with your unconquerable emotions. My thumbs bruise your thighs as I grope gracelessly, clawing at your skin, just shy of massaging the muscles beneath it. I let the hairs pass between the prints of my digits. I press my face hard against your... I breathe deeply, because only God could help me if I were to forget this scent. Because only God could forgive me if I were to forget this scent. I open my mouth, I taste, I drink, I lick, I suck, I swallow, I sip, I chew a little. I sink myself as deeply inside you as anyone ever possibly could in an effort to pilfer the tiniest bit of your essence, so that you, as you are now, will survive old age, sickness, sadness, distance, mornings, evenings, late night good time phone calls, the bad years, the tidal waves of depression that indiscriminately wash over me, so that you, as you are now, will survive even death. I put your eyes together like puzzle pieces, praying before them as though they were the temples to the gods of ocular perfection. I measure each dilation, time each blink, count each lash, treasure each reflection of myself living in their warmth. I kiss your lips, your lips, your lips. I become lost willingly in all the cities of all the continents of all the worlds on your lips. I trace them with mine, I sketch them with my tongue, I etch your lips upon my own with fiery kisses, trying hard to identify each flavor in your mouth, noticing that your spit tastes like love. A love seasoned with whiskey and cigarettes and peanut oil, with strawberries and honey and hot sauce, with sweat and sex and joy, but with love nonetheless. Tell me what you think.
All right. I have a special guest me, a musical manifest, a new addition to TMF. My name is Alex. And we're going to do a collabo together. This is something that I've never done here in Nas before. I'm going to actually do my poems to a beat. So this is how the Christmas that y'all never seen. So manifest performance in the building once again. So we're going to kick it off. Take it away. When you stand, you let me release thoughts once I push you in my hand. Proceed the microphone check, no microphone tech porch. You slam that microphone bed, like electronic device, helps contribute advice, motivate, touch, heart, test if it sounds nice. Microphone, got to keep that cycle, don't cycle to the people the title, make that title known. The mic's the bystander, the mic can be a blessing to test your skills on stage. 1, 2, 3, testing. The mic can be dangerous to those that shouldn't bust the flow to. Break the cross, gonna say your lane, so the mic's the method to the pick how you tell it and tell it how you want to tell it. Proof point and nail it. It's so opposite of the word around town tour. Chance to make voices heard for a sound tour. Microphone check, yes I got to Tourette. While I stand with something nice around my neck. I was quoted off that song with the nice. The song was better than mine. While I rock this mic, it's done. And when I speak, I'll be down. I sleep on an opportunity to rock a slam that's unique. 1, 2, 3, testing. 4 words I'm suggesting. Poetic words of wisdom, a lyrical lesson. It's that microphone. Keep that cycle known of how it's going down. And the haters, they want my title so low. On microphone, you and me gonna set it off together. We gonna make the crowd applaud together.
Yeah!
Shut up, go to hell. All y'all come along with me. Yes.
First damn of the day.
The first down. There you go. All right, y'all.
Sweet.
Round 2. Yes. Kelly Siska, ladies and gentlemen, new addition to the manifest.
Yes!
There's no manifest on the fines up this bitch. So yeah. All right, take it away. So much passion that it's so everlasting. So much passion that it's so everlasting. So much passion with so much passion that it's everlasting. So motivated with a never-ending habit. Her name is poetry. Each with me they gon' know it's me. So controlling, eat, speaking the soul free. She give me that passion to live so lavish. Unleash the beast within like a savage. And she give me addicted like a drug to pursue what I love. Get it popping like a rave for a club. So addicted like a drug to pursue what I love. To get it popping like a rave for a club. And she help with my discussions go perfect with percussion. Poetry I'm loving, without her I'm nothing. Together we're devoted to the game like earth be our claim. And truly blessed, hallowed be thy name. And I fill with a passion, fulfilled with a passion. Copyright, submit, and still with a passion that universal language is give my person claiming. Never leave my side, we don't meet through birth and stand. And we gon' set it off together, let it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together. I said we gon' set it off together, let it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together. I said we gon' set it off together and let it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together. I said we gon' let it off together and set it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together. With this open relationship, provoke me to say this shit. Giving me a passion with some coach you be saving. With so much passion that you couldn't imagine. It's that passion that is so everlasting. It's that passion that's so everlasting. Like poetry, my love, my drug, my habit, and we should hold it down with a remarkable sound. Poetry make this world go round. I said we gon' set it off together and let it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together. I said we gon' set it off together, let it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together. I said we gon' set it off together and let it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together. I said we gon' set it off together, let it off together. We gon' make the crowd applaud together.
Yes!
yesterday?
So,
Today.
is it seriously Groundhog Day yesterday?
Today's yesterday.
It's hibernation awareness.
February 2nd, yeah, today. I love that movie, y'all. February 2nd. Bill Murray!
Alright, so went home, had something to drink, and then I wrote these two. It's always a minuscule measure of time, I say, before another cataclysmic event. Though I really ought not use the term cataclysmic too loosely, as it pertains to upheaval, a rupture, or a fault line, alas. At second glance, I may be using the term just fine. For no more than a year, I've consulted both the water and the wine to no avail. My instincts insist that I deviate, and like the great soldier gripping the firearm while his arm hangs by only thin and severed threads of flesh, I digress. What finesse. What a way to make pain pass. It takes class and it takes action. I can search for miles, for traction, but I'll slide into denial fast as you slide into me. Yes, I will. I am history's favorite subject. I am nothing given something to behold. But what the fuck is this? It's reverse mantis mentality. We fuck and afterwards survival is on me. Will I be strong enough to one day know that I am the female of the species?
Yeah.
Deadly by comparison. In insect terms, it's nothing more than a bloodbath. But the crimson always spills for me, and this is not the way. And if I say a word, I'm lucky to assume that it's been heard, and if I don't, I'm identical to landmines and to time bombs. By definition, a qualm is an uneasy feeling of fear or doubt, and I'm conditioned to anticipate it like a subtle breeze on an otherwise still day. I continue to fray. The worn, unraveled threads hang like limp arteries, dying hair. I continue to break. For every wave that I admire, I find myself chasing the most widespread of fires. I might be my antithesis. I might be yours, but more than that, I feel human. But I also feel I am a statistic, and there's no one tracking that.
Are you on drugs? Don't let the cat out. Are you on drugs? Don't let the cat out. Don't let the cat out, because the cat's on drugs. The cat's on drugs. Don't look at him. He's a lawyer. Obscuring any path is matted down grass. I'm smoking grass until I fall out of the front of the class. Don't punch the cat in the face. It's an indoor cat. The disheveled insulation bats at the pinball light this place. Took a little hit, like I'm about to soon. Hunger, spiritual burn, the burning fight, the fist, the fury, the knack for this. City slang, I scrawl on the bedroom wall, on the bathroom wall. I don't remember it all, but there's my handwriting. What's it take to get older? You just stand there. But I am here for the conversation. Have you heard? There's no more White House. No more White House. Laughter is the cure. I want to laugh you off the ledge. The cliff is pure. The grass is green. Mean people write poetry and judge it too. Don't they? Yeah, I heard that. Avoid eye contact in order to properly operate the shuttle. Me is a mess. Me is wavy, but I've seen you crawl. Each tradition crawls. That I have a pride does not include me raising my fist to unplug you, and my warmth is not the same to you. The next door neighbor is dying. I know because today he is spitting up blood. He will be dead tomorrow. Classic rock on Monday evening. On the horizon, shamans practice shamanism on the roof. Don't touch the fucking turntable. I left a stack of dead people. Bobbleheads shudder to think and drink. CNN. Hey, I shook hands with what's his name again? I struck a bright light in us. One house is left. I want to be lost in your house. You've got talent more than you know. Excited times. Head upside down. My head will hit first. Explore the problem head on. You know yourself expertly. An expert time. An excellent time to breathe deep and smile. Practice smiling. What did happen happened in the past, and you can leave it there if you try, if you're convinced. Many families worship the sun as God, and they were right to, and they were the truest believers. They don't crawl, they just stand there. The temporality, relative, relational self versus static self-absorption, burning coffin samadhi, where I sit by the pool table with all the same people, walking little dogs. Take this job and leave me be, this burning amber, burning down. Listen and catch on to the subtlety of your surroundings. Don't mind my subtle prying ping. Listen to the catch on the side of the bus, of the moving bus. Next time, ping. Everyone turn on your flashlights. Ping. Mommy, can I go out and kill tonight? Do it to the church bells. I will be here. I will be here watching from the window.
Less parched.
Excuse me. This is a newer one. It's called Stop Doing That.
I like this one.
Oh, and he likes this one.
Okay.
Do we need culture? Or do we need something different? A new path or an old path? In a game of basketball, throwing a second ball onto the court is unacceptable. Do we need a second one? Do we really need a second one? Do we need the first? Do we need culture? Do we need to keep our culture going, or can we create a new one? Can we create something else altogether and claim that it isn't culture? Do we need earth to walk on? What would happen to our mental state if we smashed the state and ate the rich? Do we have to sleep with the television on? What would happen if we drove to work in silence? Is doing the same thing over and over an act of building, or the process of tearing yourself down? Stop doing that. Do you grow tired of putting food into your mouth and being called to nature? Do animals need our protection? Do the animals even need our protection? Or do they need protection from us? What is planned obsolescence other than the false promise of a society offering the possibility of unlimited growth within a capitalist regime, and we only have so much oil? What happens once all the pleasure bleeds out of the moment? Stop doing that. Does a friend of ours think that he can pass the time and get past time without realizing time is just handing his ass back to himself, inside of himself, only that much older? The breakdown of machinery is a crack in the American dream. Do we need protection from ourselves like we need life insurance across the board? The board is not pleased. How can we be clear on the things that we want if we don't know what they are, and we become as pretentious as those pretentious people over there and who are talked about? Stop pretending to be beside yourself in a game of anything. Why would you want to be caught cheating? So the answer is, for me to you, don't cheat. Just don't cheat with things, because that's not a good look. What do we need? What do we need? And what do we need? And what do we need? And what do we want? And what do we want? If what we want is not what we need, is it automatically greed? Or is there some leeway, a gray space, and not for me to say kind of day? And if we look to the stars for our answers, we're realizing it's never been a human language. Do we write our own book inside someone else's by underlining and highlighting and filling in the margins? Culture is not moving fast enough in my book to reverse all the damage done. Why can't we wipe the drive on this one and rewrite the stanzas and go bananas before we're welded into our chairs, into apathetic nightmares? Why can't we breathe? If you can ask that question, then of course you're breathing. But what we probably mean is it feels like this is the iron fist is making itself known by way of socio-political, spiritual strangulation. And if we can't see it, what are we going to do? All right.
Hey, bring it over here, dude. Sorry.
Is this Groundhog's Day?
Yes, it is. We already established that.
Groundhog Awareness Day.
It's Groundhog Awareness Day. That's how I got called.
And I think only half of us were aware.
Oh, I called. No, the dude who shows up. That's your book. I don't memorize poetry, because I didn't bring any. So I'm just going to say my one joke again. Is this Groundhog's Day? Do the same thing over and over again. Either it's Groundhog's Day or you're gainfully employed. Do the same thing over and over again. So what's the one thing I have memorized? Because it rhymes. First, I'm going to manifest this mic. I'm a mic. Now here's my poem.
Step on the wine glass. It's like crush it under. Come on, man.
Is it Groundhog's Day?
Hazmat trucking mama.
Yeah!
I was at 3/4 of it memorized, by the way, so I'm going to leave you with the cliffhanger. Rolling up the interstate, her eyes glued straight ahead. There's a hazmat trucking mama aching for a motel bed. She's crossed the high Sierra since this day's forgotten start, but the weight behind her chassis is light comparing to her heart. Because there's a baby back in Tulsa, and a household full of bills, and an absent drunk ex-husband with a pocket full of pills. So Grandma's watching Scooter so that she can hit the road, bringing home the bacon while she's bringing home the load. And she's taking that load down a heavy road that'd make most any man tucker. Because when it comes to love, she's a hazmat trucker.
Ow!
There's a strength that she carries when the night's road long, the road gets bumpy, when the coffee's not strong. So her boss turns to her when the schedule's got to keep, and her sister runs to her when she needs a place to sleep, and her grandma calls to her when the rent is finally owed, so she hitches out her trailer and she takes it on the road. But there's a weakness in her knees when her Johnny smiles, and she can only back him up when she's racking up the miles. So if this miss comes round for a kiss, then boy, you better pucker. Because when it comes to love, she's a hazmat trucker. Yeah, it's a long, hard haul from here to Oklahoma, and it's filled with pain. It's filled with pain and a strange aroma. It's the powdery taste of a non-dairy cream. It's a vulcanized skid on a broken dream. It's the whine and the grooves and the threat of the stall and the hazardous materials that she'll always haul. It's the unshaven sneer at the weigh-in station. It's the 10 years since her last vacation. But there's a strength that she carries when she's bringing her load, when she's hauling her load, shifting into overdrive and tearing up the road. So, shifting into overdrive and tearing up the road. So something ucker. Because when it comes to love, she's mad that she's a hazmat trucker. Yeah, you can give her a line and she'll give you some time, but don't play her for a sucker. Because when it comes to love, she's a hazmat trucker.
Thanks, Jasmine. You're welcome. I read this first poem on Wednesday, but Jasmine and Rebecca and Tiffany, they weren't here to hear it, and I really want them to.
Thank you.
No, everyone's gonna love this poem.
Hell yeah. Yeah, girl.
It's called Love Affair with a Nightmare.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking for a dude with a dick, like burning sage. You see, I need to smoke him out of me somehow. I have no idea how to fight this phantom that I cannot keep haunting all of our old, abandoned places. In search of a spirit who's that.
Yes.
I'm good at memorizing them. I'm not good at reading them. In search of a spirit that isn't mine to seek. There are no parameters when it comes to a heartache that feels this paranormal. So I'm searching for a man who can double as my medium, psychically guide me through my graveyard heart. Because his memory lingers still on my skin like the Dr. Braun soap smell and the aftertaste of an excellent cup of coffee. I can't let go of the memory of getting weird with him. The way he would look at me like a monster at the end of a chase. So sell me that snake oil-laced liquor. If it promises to erase this angry shade, I'll trade moonstones, dragon's blood, wolfsbane, whatever else there is to exchange for an end to this horror story, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and go out looking for an exorcist to fuck him out of me. Find any way I can of letting go of a ghost. I wrote this one hungover on the car ride home from a trip to Galveston with my favorite poet, motherfuckers. Yeah. It's called The Bride of Bacchus. I mix honey into our wine and we call it heaven. Dionysus and I drink each other in and we are never sated. He tells me I make him feel fizzy. He makes me dizzy, and love isn't supposed to be sober. The only problem is that alcohol doesn't offer any apologies, and intoxicating is just a prettier way of saying poisoned. So when our stomachs turn, he tells me that what he needs must be something stronger, so I go out looking for an antidote. And at the end of it all, he stirs battery acid into our coffee and calls it a fond farewell. I drink down every drop. That's that one.
I don't know, is it probably interrupted all you folks?
No, you're cool.
Yeah. Cool. I've been called a lot of things, love, but it's never been cool. I felt I had to participate in this before I go down and get somewhere else drunker than what I already am. My name is Seamus.
Okay.
I was upstairs practicing with a band called the Dead Rabbits. Just need to hear that.
Okay.
Oh, you sound like you've heard of them before. Oh, well, those guys, yeah. You heard of that? All right, so you know. I like heard it all like that.
I've heard it all now.
Nonetheless, before I get out here, I'm drunk, and you know, I'm Irish for Christ's sake, so there's a bit of poetry that's involved in what I'm going to. I like, before I get out here, and I bore the piss out of some other wanker. Not to say you're wankers.
I want one. Do it. I want one too.
That being said, let me bestow a little bit of Irish poetry on you.
Oh shit.
Awesome. Andy, yes.
It's short, but it's sweet. It's the way I try to live. You know, I don't last that long no matter what it is. Unless there's a bottle of whiskey in it, you can't get rid of me. That's on a whole other subject. We can talk about that next Sunday, aye? Gunarlia Brawley, Ognog Tiernanog. In Irish, that means, may the road rise to meet your feet, and the wind always be at your back. I lead with you that, folks. Thank you for listening to my
Dreams.
Holy shit.
From the bling of this pink tongue, and from the bling of these, I guess, now they're semi-white teeth, I will have my moment to take the scene, going crazy with word rage as I shoot them from out of my mouth like bullets, and all the people watch. And I know the pain of the cheese sticking together, and at the same time finding out there's just not enough to go around. So I taste the rainbows as they fall to the ground, forming rivers and lakes of color. My apprehension is my apprehension. And my apprehension is only that. It's a failing sun, drowning in a river of lies and demise from our ancestors passing. May the new generation save the future. May we be forever of the changing sets that beckon to us softly, telling us the stories that were written in a time before I felt my government was not my government, and a poet was on the cover of Time. There's a purple fruit inside me, and our hearts are all peaches, sitting in the highest branches under the brightest sun. Let us all be high, never back down. they fall into the abyss, a tribute to lives that we should never, but always remiss. Because they pave the way for what comes next. And what comes next? What happens next after standing up for a freedom that you believe to be is right? What happens next when the revolution bites? When souls of a nation will not cry tears of sadness because there is too much joy? When will the party stop and the drinks stop coming? When will you all see that the world is drowning in my glass with a piece of fruit on the rim? A piece of fruit that tastes just like the juice of sin. A piece of fruit that is life to the living and sight for the blind. A piece of fruit that takes us all to the brink of what it is to be divine. Because that is when white is no longer white, but a shadow in the eye of a fiery beast. And yes, this beast dreams of a peace that spreads across all lands, all hearts beating together, all singing the same song, forever high. Hi, this is the end.
This is great, I love it. I love all y'all. This is just badass. Okay, this is an ode to my greatest inspirations. Drifting through the centuries, thought it would never cease. Battling the enemy, resisting his disease. Deniable immunity, a love that never dies. The symptom of the universe, it comes as no surprise.
Got this.
Glowing window illuminates to burn wonder away. Tangible discoveries explaining all the way. Wary of the inconclusive love that never dies. The symptom of the universe is fading from your eyes. Take it now, my child of love, the hand that isn't seen. Father of creation soon retracts his grandest deeds. Eternal skies are waiting. We love undying still. The symptom of the universe, I think I always will. Yeah.
Casualties of poetry.
That's some strong emotions. I feel like y'all can clap louder than that.
Strong as he is humble. Always on guard, but never vile. A man with an eager inner child. Too often misunderstood. He thinks of things you never would. You might not get it when he laughs, and you'll think he's crazy when he cries. But there's more to him than can see the human eye. He never gets mad, and he never gets even. He'll be the last one to stay when all else are leaving. I know there are many who think it's weak to live by the ways of turning the cheek. His years lived have earned him a sensitive heart. When he sees our generation is falling apart, there's nothing more important than playing his part. He has love for a world full of people unkind, and his extent of compassion is beyond undying. He's sickened by ways of adulterous things and is against the acts of immoral means. And he's active in the day and disappears in the night. But a touch of Mother Nature makes him feel all right. You can hear him singing a mile away. Believe there's truth in everything that he says. When we don't have him around, we feel such a loss. He's shrouded in beauty, even in his thoughts. He has something to say that people don't want to hear. In this darkened day where the truth is feared, the age of his cross is near. So cross his path, he'll show no wrath. His welcome is always tumultuous, and his ways never unscrupulous. He might seem different, but it's not his fault. Living truthful while others live false. I feel in my blood, he is the last cross.
Right?
The name.
Yeah, it's a lame Facebook handle that I made up 2 years ago, and I haven't changed it yet, so sue me. Alright, I wrote this lovely little poem after a night out with a few great poets here. Alright, so here it goes. The moon is high, and the night is brand new. This Saturday will top the last. Looking up, I realize things are so much clearer now. The music leaves a slight ringing in my ears. I go out to the patio for a smoke, only to find one more awesome beat. The dance floor is packed and the drinks are overpriced. When the beat drops and the cannons fire, the crowd loses their shit. Below, the floor shakes from the force while the rafters rattle above. The VIP railing squeaks from the hoe that just hopped on, or one can assume it squeaked and moaned. I did not envy that black iron rail. Lasers firing, confetti falling, strobe lights flashing, all kinds of people dancing. Maybe last night I went too hard, but I cannot keep up. The DJ is such a rose, and all her beats are wicked sweet. I can't help but do the white boys can't dance to trance dance, mostly swaying, hand waving, and jumping when the beat drops. So I really don't have to try too hard. Unlike that guy, did someone put an 8-ball in his Jack and Coke?
Yeah!
There was a guy on the dance floor, and I can only describe him in 2 words: eye candy. So I fucked him good for about an hour. At one point, he walked by to buy a bottle of agua. I had to reach out and touch that ass. My God, that bod was so hard. In one instant, I knew I'd bounce a whole roll of quarters off that ass. Sorry, I fell into a lust trance, laser-induced, of course. But it's ladies' night out, so I won't take him home. Sorry you couldn't make it. I don't want to hear why, because that shit was epic. Damn, you missed out.
Woo! Yeah! Mocking mirrors, manipulating masses, maddening men, more measures, made minutes move muscles, mapping music, meeting morsels, making molecules materialize. Could you imagine? Wordsmiths. Take letters pieced together and paint images with their lips and tongue tips. They welcome their audience to vicariously experience the moments they portray through rubber portraits with the sole purpose of an execution to silence, as each sigh enhances the delivery of the thrill in your lyrical spills, running rampant in the eardrums of those present to the point love echoes the hearts of no egos. As everyone knows, Miriam rocks each show. Teens are her tear ducts overflow. Poets like Khalid, Marcel, and Jim take the essence of hope and welcome the hopeless in with their charm and phrasal verbs to exert their very best. And if that wasn't good enough, we have altruistic philanthropists who unclench the fist of those dying to live life less difficult than their forefathers. Like Andrea Everline, she spent several nights outside just to earn the right to say, I know what it's like. We have mothers like Jacques who never look in their knees, the most high they plead for the strength they need to proceed, and that for which they ask they will receive, like mentors Hawaii P. We have obedient servants who are engulfed in their works, who capture moments that could never be rehearsed, who aim to frame memories and have never paid their worth like film phenoms and photographers. We get no greater than that. Who got a hometown hero within reach. He turned his back to his plan to follow steps ordered by another man. He sacrificed his time and opportunities they defined success to be, to walk 1,800 miles just to show hope could be reached. It is to him they turn when it's hope they seek. Are you Jesus? They ask him when they speak. And his response when asked Noah, how are your feet? He I got miles to walk before I sleep. See, I took toiletries to the house of those the government left out, and I shook a shaky hand of a spouse who felt paralyzed. He felt paralyzed, way down, found no peace in those bottles of Crown lying on his ground, his skin soaked in with this scent, this stench of mothball scent, sweat and tears, and for years he has stayed with me. So sadly it is that we walk around not realizing how the change could be spared if only we would declare that our minds needed to be arranged, the frame of mind where we could actually say that maybe if we changed our minds not to see them for the outside, but so much of what our reflections would exude, if we would just allow our eyes to shine through, the ability to know that we have all been created in one image, to know that your reflection is mine. And it's sad how sometimes we don't have anything but time just to give, but know that service is so much more than just being present. It is being so selfless and the ability just to give back, even if it's breath. CPR on somebody who needs to be resuscitated because they've been manipulated to believe that they're not good enough, great, or beautiful enough to be declared worth your time. Just to inhale deep and exhale slow, just to realize that time that you spend is enough for them to know that their life was actually worth something more than shit, more than something they had to go through just to get to this point of life, but they could actually realize that it was really just worth it. Woo!
We already gave the demo. You're just gonna pull on it. I can do that. Just saying.
Pull on mine, Rebecca.
Baby, I always do.
Beck, where's your phone?
Alright. So I was blocked for a while, y'all. It was not pretty. But I just wrote this and I'm gonna spit it. And then I'm gonna sing for you guys. Are y'all ready for some fucking songs?
Yeah!
I mean, if we can all just get along and love each other in a little bit of a kind of way. I'm gonna read this shit, so don't listen to what I have to say, because I'm kind of crazy. Alright. Waking up to the idea of water in my mind. I am parched. But that's what happens when you can't stop setting things and people and desires on fire. I conspire to myself and concede that it seems I am a pyromaniac. A maniac of many sorts. But fire seems to be my speciality. Not just the cliche name that comes to mind. You know, that orange flickering kind of flame cliche. But there are many other forms of fire that I like to portray. The fire in his groin, making it stand tall and salute. The fire in his eyes, or how about her? I'd like to start a fire between her thighs. Or maybe I could even light a fire in some of these fucks running the country and running amok. While they sleep to dream and dream of sugar plum arches and chocolate-coated sluts to fuck. Everyone has their price. Not just the chocolate-coated ladies of the night, found for sale under every red light district. These are the paper-thin, superficial types that dream of freshly cut $100 bills and smell of sex. I want to set fire to such things. Sit back and get wet once the ashes and the fuckery leave the air. I want to set fire to blades of grass, freshly mowed lawns, the American dream. These types of things that we envision without vision or indecision because we decide we'd rather hide behind our phobias and just get another prescription instead of face ourselves and find some conviction. So I am fucking setting fires tonight. Setting fires along the highways. Got people constantly running away from pain. Running from flames and so afraid of being set on fire. Heart so wounded, it's easier to believe that heaven's a lie than to simply acknowledge the blood stains in our own eyes. This place is pain when nothing's unchanged or remains true except the fire I'm lighting in you, because moments were meant to move us and move on beyond our reach into our memories. But we clutch on so tightly, it shakes us and sets us aflame. Swallowing moths. Over here, it's all the same. And as
we look down to our white knuckles, as we grip them so tightly we realize they are empty. It breaks us. It takes us to that place of inflamed pain. But that's what it takes for our senses to be regained. And to regain oneself is the sweetest victory. It is the only pleasure just as extraordinarily and pleasurable and extraordinary as losing oneself to begin with. Always, always look for the stains of blood in their eyes and the ability to start fires. They call me a fire starter, but really, I'm just a fucking maniac. Alright, you guys want some fucking music?
Yes! Wait! Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Alright, so I'm gonna sing y'all a song. It's actually a song I love. It's about death, so I figured it'd be pretty appropriate for all of you fucking, sadistic fucks. I love you, but I chose this song for here, so here we go. And yes, for you, of course. Everything is for you.
Pessimism like whoa.
I'm gonna go into my little place right now. Don't get offended if I don't look at any yet. I get into this shit, y'all. Just saying. Sunday's gloomy, my hours are slumberless. Dearest love, shadows I live through are numberless. Little white flowers will never awaken you. Not where the black coach of sorrow has taken you. Angels have no thoughts of ever returning you. Would they be angry if I thought of joining you? Gloomy Sunday. Gloomy Sunday. Death is no dream, and death I'm caressing you with the last breath of my soul. I'll be blessing you.
Italian opera, and that's my Italian nigga right there.
Alright, so.
Do y'all want to hear a love song?
Of course.
I will make love to you in Italian right now. That's what I want to do.
Is she serious? Please.
Come on, man.